Next on America's Day at the Races, he would have been favored in the 145th Kentucky Derby. Wasn't meant to be, and he hasn't raced since. Today, the return of Omaha Beach. And for his trouble, gets to face the sprint monster that is Chancelot, 4 to 5 morning line favorite in the Grade 1 Santa Anita Sprint Championship. To the winner, an automatic berth in the Breeders' Cup Sprint, now 28 days away. America's Day at the Races is brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. On this second Saturday in fall, doesn't really feel like it, we welcome you to Santa Anita Park in Arcadia, California, home to the upcoming Breeders' Cup World Championship for a record 8th time. Inside the Santa Anita studios, I'm Lafitte Pinkai, and the story at Santa Anita today is all about Omaha Beach and his return. The colt who had established himself as the finest 3-year-old in North America, a Kentucky Derby favorite who never had a chance to race in a Kentucky Derby. The story is well documented. He had a breathing issue known as an entrapped epiglottis. He didn't have a chance to run, but now, 5 months later, a throat procedure later, and Omaha Beach is back and ready to roll in this Grade 1 Santa Anita Sprint Championship. We take a look at the field. Compact field of 6, running 3/4 of a mile. Omaha Beach has drawn post position number 2. First race since the Arkansas Derby, April 13th at Oaklawn Park, but he's not the favorite. That distinction belongs to Chancelot. Right next door, odds on 4 to 5 on the morning line. So I'm now joined by Hall of Fame jockey Gary Stevens. Gary, how did Omaha Beach wind up here in a sprint race for his comeback at Santa Anita?
Lafitte, his workout didn't go as planned 2 weeks ago. He was preparing for the ACAC Stakes at Churchill Downs, and they actually broke off 3/4 of a mile. They went the first eighth in 11 seconds flat. The whistles went off. There was a loose horse. They had to abandon the work, pull up, and then go all the way around the racetrack and do it again. Richard wasn't happy with what had happened, and he had to go to Plan C.
So that was a mess, but it sounds like things have gone well since.
Yes, he had a great workout last weekend, which brings us to today. I've never seen a horse of Richard Mandella's work quite like he did the other day. He broke off with company and just got off running at a brisk pace. And here you see him coming into the stretch. That's him on the outside right there with Mike Smith aboard for this workout. He's going to blow by these 2 horses of Carla Gaines that weren't designed to be in front of him going to the work. He just kept picking up speed as they approached the finish line here. It was a great workout.
Omaha Beach has never raced shorter than 7 furlongs, every other race at a mile or farther. But then you have Chancelot. I mean, Omaha Beach is the big reputation, the big name. Why is Chancelot favored over Omaha Beach in the Santa Anita Sprint Championship?
Because of his track record performance in Amsterdam up at Saratoga. We talked about how great that meet, how memorable it was for me, what a special summer. Well, he's part of what made my summer in Saratoga so fun.
It was record-breaking. It was clock-smashing. Chancelot, the 3-year-old, in what looked like a wide-open race going in, he wins by daylight. You could argue this was the performance of the meet at Saratoga. Gary.
It was for me. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing, and I kept waiting for him to start backing up. He was setting some blazing fractions. I said, he's got to start backing up. He just pulled away from the crowd, kept accelerating, and we saw a new track record snap up on the board.
And we'll get to his loss in the Allen Jerkins Travers Day later on in the show, Gary. But what's Chancelot doing here, 3,000 miles away from his home at Monmouth Park in New Jersey now?
He's not the only one that's here. Steve Asmussen has brought all of his Breeders' Cup contenders in here as well. A lot of trainers feel that it's either better to ship in right on top of a race 2 or 3 days before, or come a month earlier, get a trip, a couple workouts, whatever it may be. Well, he's getting here, he's getting live action the other day and maybe going to pad his bankroll a little bit more.
Getting ready for the Breeders' Cup Sprint. What an intriguing matchup. Chancelot, Omaha Beach, the 3-year-olds in the Santa Anita Sprint Championship, a race usually dominated by older horses. As we say hello to Michelle Yu, who earlier today had a chance to spend some time with Omaha Beach's Hall of Fame jockey, Mike Smith.
Mike Smith going to be aboard Omaha Beach. Mike, we haven't seen this horse at the races since spring. What have you seen from him in the mornings, though, just as far as mentally? How has he matured since this spring?
Well, he's gotten a whole lot cooler and calmer, really good about about his training anyway. You know, we haven't got to run him that much, but he's training extremely well, all the way up even to his last work, which has probably been his best work ever. So I'm really hoping that that's an indication on how he's going to perform this afternoon, because he worked just brilliant. And although it's a little shorter than we would like, if he'll run like he worked last time, you know, we could see him run a big race today.
It's not unheard of for him to go short, because he did break his maiden going 7. Obviously, with Chancelot in there today, he's going to want to be a predominant speed horse. What would be your ideal trip with Omaha Beach today?
You know, just getting away in good order, you know, Michelle, where Chancelot's going to be in front, you know, probably 2 or 3, maybe even 4 in front of us. But if I'm within 3 or 4 of them heading for home, and he's moving the right like he was the other morning anyway, he's not without a chance to catch him. Now, if he catches a horse like that, you know, today going 3/4, that's saying something, because that's a serious horse.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Guys?
Wait a second. Best work ever from Omaha Beach, says Mike Smith. He was training out of his mind leading up to the Kentucky Derby that he never got to race in.
We better listen. He's a Hall of Famer, and he's been on a lot of great horses, continues to get on great horses. And happy horse, happy jockey. Especially, I love his plan. Hey, if he's within 4 or 5, and you've got that feeling, he's already given him that feeling, the way he worked out the other morning. If he can be within 4 or 5 lengths of Chancelot coming into the stretch, he believes he can beat him, and I think that's a positive thing.
Mike Smith seeking a 3rd win in the Santa Anita Sprint Championship, one of them with Amazombi 2011. All he did was go on and capture the Breeders' Cup Sprint. And, of course, don't forget, you can always play with us at Naira Bets. Play the races today and every day with a Naira Bets account. New members can earn a $200 new member sign-up bonus by entering promo code LIVE at sign-up and betting $200 in your first 14 days as a member. Sign up now at NairaBets.com or download the Naira Bets app. Weather track conditions brought to you by Piranha Fly Spray, the preferred fly spray of America's day at the races. Piranha on, pest gone, 86 degrees. The main track is fast and the turf course is firm. As for today's races, a pair of graded stakes races from Santa Anita. Grade 2 City of Hope Mile Potential, Breeders' Cup Mile Prep, and later, Grade 1 Santa Anita Sprint Championship, the main event, post time around 4:55 Pacific. But first things first, and that City of Hope Mile. Take a look at the field. This is the morning line. It is wide open with 11 to choose from. Grade 2, mile on grass, $200,000 is the purse. Prince Earl, those are the updated odds. 7-2 on the morning line, Prince Earl at 5-2. Horses being saddled for the City of Hope Mile. Not a Breeders' Cup Challenge event, could have Breeders' Cup Mile implications. The City of Hope Mile live on America's Day at the races. Post time in about 18 minutes. We'll be right back.
Run Happy is simply super. He polishes off an outstanding campaign with a dominant victory in the Malibu.
No medication, no problem. Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NairaBets.com.
Flatter. This prolific son of A.P. Indy has sired 6 millionaires, including Eclipse champion West Coast. This year, he's adding even more stakes winners to his outstanding record, including Sovereign Award winner Avies Flatter. In the auction ring, his yearlings have topped the Fasig-Tipton July sale 2 years in a row. Success on the track, success in the ring. Flatter, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Into the final furlong now. Northeast bound, digs down deep, and he's tenaciously holding on to the lead. A first success is right in his front leg. top here, and with giant strides, War Chant is flying as they come to the finish. Here's the winner, War Chant coming from 13th in this field.
Man, what a finish. Second to last with a half-mile to run, Gary. How'd War Chant get up?
I'll tell you what, that day, Lafitte, I'd never felt acceleration on the turf on any horse I'd ridden.
That's saying
and
a lot.
Still to this day, I have never felt that kind of acceleration. War Chant showed up that day. He was a 3-year-old. It was the same year as Fusiachi Pegasus, same trainer, and a race I'll never forget.
Yeah, War Chant, back then, this City of Hope Mile, it was known as the Oak Tree Mile. Very productive as a prep for the Breeders' Cup Mile. 3 eventual winners won this race and went on to capture the Breeders' Cup Mile. Silic, War Chant, and Val Royale. As for this year's Breeders' Cup Mile, the contention looks something like this 4 weeks out. Bolo, Prince Earl, about to run in the City of Hope. Bricks and Mortar, his work this year, worthy of Horse of the Year consideration. Circus Maximus, did you know Aidan O'Brien has never won a Breeders' Cup Mile? And let's not write off Got Stormy following her defeat in the Woodbine Mile last out. And earlier today, Grade 1, Shadwell Turf Mile. Win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Mile. We pick up the action at the top of the stretch. Absolute cavalry charge, Gary. Look out for Bowie's Hero in the black colors.
Yeah, you called it, Lafitte. It looked like there were 70 horses in this race instead of 14. And Bowie's Hero sitting back, getting a perfect trip under Flavian Pratt, and runs them all down and gets the money.
Here, look at how many horses are in contention. I don't know, 12 within 5, 6, 7 lengths. Bowie's Hero on the outside, which, by the way, has a serious impact on this upcoming City of Hope. But Bowie's Hero emerges victorious with Flavian Pratt. Is that good enough? It's a win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Mile to make him a contender for the Breeders' Cup Mile.
Oh, yeah, definitely so. You win the Shadwell Mile. It's a maker of racehorses in the breeding shed. Very famous race, and Grade 1.
Yep.
Definitely he could impact the Breeders' Cup Mile.
Twice, the winner of the Shadwell Turf Mile has gone on to capture the Breeders' Cup Mile, going back to Steinland, D. Wayne Lucas back in 1989, and Wise Dan in 2012. How productive will this year's edition be? Only time will tell. First things first, the upcoming City of Hope here at Santa Anita with post time in about 17 minutes. And with that, we check in with Michelle Yu standing by. Michelle, good afternoon.
Hey, Lafitte, how's it going? Out here waiting for horses to come into the paddock. And just since you guys were watching the Shadwell, I do want to mention that Prince Earl in here has a little bit of a tie-in. He's in fact the regular workmate of Bowie's Hero. And I went to talk to Phil D'Amato right now before the horses came over and told him, tell me something about this colt. That's what he wanted to bring to the forefront. I asked him a little bit about the possibility for a bounce, because that was the horse's first race off an extended layoff, was his win in the Del Mar Mile. And he said, honestly, he's been working with Bowie's Hero. He has been working head and head, and he has been just on point in the morning. So I don't suspect he's going to have a bounce scenario in here at all. So if you liked Bowie's Hero, hopefully Prince Earl here can duplicate that effort. And I just want to make a note as far as his other horse goes, Andesh. He wanted to point out to me that Andesh's last race, which was a win, was his first time as a gelding. Now, you only see that noted the first time they run as a gelding. After that, it just shows what they are. So knowing that, Phil said that this horse's lack of consistency might have something to do with his mental status as far as being a colt before that gelding went on.
Yeah, Michelle, Phil D'Amato off to an incredible start at this fall meet at Santa Anita. Has a combination of Andesh and Prince Earl, Gary. Going back to Prince Earl, who was the morning line favorite, and now 4-1, the Coast second choice in the wagering. A strength of schedule as a result of Bowie's Hero winning the Grade 1 Shadwell Turf Mile. If you liked Prince Earl a little bit going in, you feel that much better about his chances.
Absolutely, and I love that he separated these two horses with that possibly in mind. Why not get two horses automatically in the Breeders' Cup instead of one? Well, he's 1 for 1. Let's see if he can go 2 for 2 today.
The concern Michelle mentioned about regression. Prince Earl coming up with that big effort in his most recent effort. That's going to be one of the questions coming up today. Can he follow that up with an improved effort? We're going to find out in about 15 minutes for this Grade 2 City of Hope Mile. Off and running here on America's Day at the Races. Still ahead, 2 graded stakes events, the City of Hope Mile, and later, Grade 1 Santa Anita Sprint Championship. Win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Sprint on this gorgeous Saturday from Arcadia. Stay tuned.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action. And Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NairaBets.com.
Each year, a new dream begins. To achieve that dream, you could never rest on past success.
Audible, no doubt about it. He won it by 2.5. Yoshida storming home in the center. Yoshida! Yoshida has won the one word.
Wake up, little one. It's time to dream big.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
From Santa Anita, America's Day at the Races is brought to you by Run Happy. Run Happy occupying legendary stall number 1. Like so many superstars at Claiborne Farm, race medication free and stands for $25,000 at Claiborne. Run Happy on the farm there. Looking forward to next summer. Got that bonus, $100,000 bonus, winning a maiden special weight non-restricted with a 2-year-old by Run Happy. Here at Santa Anita, though, we're looking ahead to the Grade 2 City of Hope. And Catapult, Gary, who last year, we go back to the Breeders' Cup Mile, John Sadler had him cranked up for the race of his career. Catapult in that particular race, right there in contention as they straightened out, but look out for Frankie Dettori, an expert eye, who eventually runs him down. But a huge effort.
Yeah, huge effort. He didn't have the best of trips. No fault of Drayden Van Dyke. He was pulling a little bit early. It looked like he was going to get up and win here. And then up jumps Frankie in the last 50 yards or so of this race to jerk victory out of Drayden's hands. But if he repeats this race or anywhere close to it, he doesn't have to win today to run his best race in the Breeders' Cup, but I expect him to run big today off of the layoff.
All right, so Catapult, that's him at his best. The question now, where is he at this stage compared to where he was last year? And let's get back to the morning line favorite, Prince Earl, who is now 4-1, first of 2 in here, trained by Phil D'Amato, Gary. The result of this effort in the Del Mar Mile Handicap, the reason he was installed as a morning line favorite, terrific ground-saving ride here from jockey Giovanni Franco.
But look, he's a lightly raced 4-year-old, and as Michelle stated, he was gelded last time out, and he showed great improvement off of his previous 4 races. But don't forget, he's 3 for 5 in his career, so he's a colt that just keeps improving, or a gelding, excuse me, just keeps improving, and he benefited from a great ride, I thought, from Giovanni Franco here. He was patient, he waited for the gaps. Luckily, the gaps came, and he showed the acceleration that only a good miler does, and that's what it's going to take to win the Breeders' Cup Mile, and it's going to take it to win today as well.
Prince Earl, least experienced runner in the City of Hope Mile. This will be, as you mentioned, just the 6th race of his career. Now, Synchrony, number 2, is the current favorite at 2-1. And let's go back to his most recent effort, the Grade 1 Woodbine Mile, Synchrony. Turning for home, he was in behind a wall of horses. You'll see blue cap, and traffic would be an issue in the stretch here, Gary.
Yeah, and poor Flavien Prat, I've been in this position before. He basically had to eat Synchrony on this particular day. When he zigged, he should have zagged. He's going to finally get out here. And then the one in the blue, the Godolphin horse, going to come out, and he's lucky he didn't clip heels right there. Now he ducks back to the inside, void of room to run again. So that's a throwout race to me, and he was only beaten 1 3/4 lengths.
You just said poor Flavien Prat. Let me remind you, he just won a $1 million horse race at Keeneland in the Grade 1 Shadwell Turf Mile.
Thank you.
But things did not work out for him on that afternoon. Another key race for this City of Hope Mile is the Grade 1 Shoemaker Mile. 4 horses who ran in that race are about to hook up here, including the top 2 finishers, Bolo and River Boyne. Bolo got loose. They didn't respect him. He was 32-1, brave, and never looked back.
Yeah, when he gets in front, he's very difficult to beat. There's been one occasion that he did not make the lead. It was a Grade 2 last year in the Arcadia Handicap. He is capable of sitting off the pace. He's not a one-way kind of horse, but for whatever reason, he didn't fire that day. River Boyne, he ran a huge race to finish second.
Mentioned the 4 horses exiting the Shoemaker Mile, running in this City of Hope, included with Bolo, River Boyne, a Catapult, and Ohio. Ohio, trained by Michael McCarthy, standing by live with Michelle in the paddock.
Thanks, Lafitte. Mike, what did you take away from his synthetic try last time?
I thought it was very good. Took a track record to beat him. He was beaten 1.5 lengths, something like that. Ran very fast that night. He's a horse that does need a whole lot of training, so I thought it would be kind of a good bridge race from Del Mar to here. Horse came back, worked well. He's kind of an amazing kind of an animal. He doesn't need a whole lot. He just shows up in the afternoon.
You had a rider swap, and then you had to call an audible as Arroyo got hurt this morning. Any special instructions? How was he to ride?
I told Victor, don't be surprised in the post-parade if he looks back at you and asks you how your day's going. He's very intelligent. He basically takes care of everything himself. I would imagine he'd probably be a little bit forwardly placed into the first turn, maybe Bolo, Restrained Vengeance, something like that, if we could tuck in behind them. He's a little bit one pace, so hopefully we can work out a clean trip with him. This is, I think, the 6th time in 12 starts. He's drawn the inside, drawn the one hole. There's not a whole lot of spots to run a horse like him, so we'll go ahead, let him do his thing today.
Maybe it's just me reading too much into it, but I feel like every time he gets firm ground at a flat mile, that's when he excels. Have you seen that with him too?
That's his thing. That is his thing. He likes to hear his feet rattle. He won a wild finish here back in the Shoemaker Mile, and he's not any different today than he was, 4 months ago when he won that race.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Great looking horse here, Ohio, guys.
Michelle, thanks so much. Yeah, the conditions Ohio prefers. The good inside draw should get a good trip, which is key going a mile in this big field. No excuses, just a question of whether or not he's good enough.
Yeah, a question of whether he's good enough. I was fortunate enough to ride him in his first American start, and that was a winning race, and didn't plan on being on the lead that day. And that was one of the only races he ever won, gate to wire. He's a horse that loves to have cover in a race. He's got great turn of foot when he's going to fire his best race. And he's really never run a bad race this year, Lafitte.
Ohio and Victor Espinosa taking over, ignored by the wagering public, currently 11-1. Are you at all surprised that it's Synchrony who is the favorite currently, though, at 5-2?
No, I'm not. He's actually my pick in this race for just because of the reason that we just watched of the traffic that he encountered last time. I think he's got the right style in here. He's got a great post position, but he's going to have to get lucky under Joe Talamo to find the gaps today. In that Woodbine Mile, sure, El Tormenta was 44-1, but finishing second in the Woodbine Mile was a Grade 1 winner, Got Stormy, Breeders' Cup Mile bound. Post parade for this Grade 2 City of Hope Mile. There is Ohio, the Brazilian 8-year-old gelding, third in last year's City of Hope. He was third in last year's City of Hope. He's a horse that's very, very consistent. He's won 9 of his 30 career starts, Lafitte. And those Eclipse colors for Aaron Wellman and partners. Number 2
Synchrony, the favorite, Joe Talamo, 6 different jockey in as many races.
Well, it hasn't seen the matter. He fires about every time that Mike leads him over here. Mike Stidham, his trainer. Joe Talamo aboard, as I said, he's 9 for 24 career.
True Valor, Gary, long shot, 16-1.
Yeah, long shot, but I wouldn't throw him out. Simon Callahan, this horse, he fired big in his last out. The Thunder Road, it was restricted.
Restrained Vengeance, Golden Gate's Rolling Green winner last month.
Yeah, and he's a speed horse, and this is what Bolo is going to have to worry about. Look for him to be forwardly placed.
Big Score, 26-time Breeders' Cup champion jockey Mike Smith in the saddle.
And that's a big asset. He was a winner of his last race, beaten 2 1/4 lengths in the Grade 2 Seabiscuit handicap.
Number 6, Catapult, runner-up in last year's Breeders' Cup Mile, currently 7-2.
Yeah, and I like the timing of this race with the layoff. I don't know if he's going to run his best race today, but he's going to be right there.
Number 7, River Boyne, runner-up in the Grade 1 Shoemaker Mile here in May.
Look, these are Grade 1 horses running in a Grade 2. He's a definite Grade 1 type of horse and ran huge last time out.
Kingly, graded stakes winner on grass, trained by Bob Baffert.
And he's the only 3-year-old in here. He was only beaten a length and a quarter in the Del Mar Derby last time out. He won the La Jolla Handicap 2-back.
Prince Earl, morning line favorite, now 7-2 for the Del Mar Mile Handicap winner.
Yeah, and he's got that style that really is effective going to flat mile. He lays close and pounces late.
Do not sleep on Endesh. That is too big of a price for the Irish gelding, 2 for 5 since arriving in the States.
Anything that Phil D'Amato is leading over lately is
right.
live. He's 20-1 for the hot Amr Sadilia.
And Bolo on the outside, that 32-1 Grade 1 Shoemaker Mile spoiler.
Yeah, and Tyler Bay is just back in town. I rode his second mount today, and that was a winner. Good to have Tyler back. He's a speed rider. I think he's going to try and put this horse on the lead.
That is the field for this Grade 2 City of Hope Mile, 11 deep. It is wide open. Who gets the trip? Who has the racing luck? We're about to find out in about 3 minutes post time. You look at the favorite, Synchrony. In a perfect world, Gary, Joe Talamo, where will he have Synchrony situated early? Because all of that jostling and traffic going into the first turn, a lot of horses are going to lose their chance to win this race as a result of what happens trying to negotiate and find position.
Look, to me, this is the most difficult race to ride when it's a full field. There's even going to be more horses in the Breeders' Cup. There's going to be 14. There's 11 today. But when you're drawn down inside, you're darned if you do, darned if you don't. You've got to kick them away from their running so you don't lose position going into that first turn. And I think that's what Joe's going to do. In the ideal world, he's going to be sitting about 2 lengths off the lead, just stalking.
With 2 minutes to post, we check in with Michelle.
Thanks, Lafitte. I want to talk about the 2, Synchrony in here, and I just could not believe how tremendous he looked. I know Mike Stidham is an excellent horseman, but this horse has traveled all over, and he's run a lot of races, and a lot of times you can see the wear and tear on them physically, but not this horse. He just is an absolute standout from a physicality standpoint, so he looks tremendous, and I got to say, he's in the barn of Mike Pipey, and Pipey's assistant pointed out to me, that's what you get when you see a 6-year-old horse. We don't see too many of those around here, and I thought, you know what, that's actually true, so he does look really good out there. I asked Mike about coming to this spot when it became on the radar, and he said, honestly, they were between running him in the Shadwell and then here, and he just thought this horse loves to have firm going. So even though his last couple of races were on good, he thought the possibility of it raining at Keeneland would be a lot more than the possibility of it raining out here. So that is how he ended up here. As far as the pace standpoint goes, he thinks there's going to be an honest pace up front. He said expect to see him mid-pack, and then he needs some room. He said if Joe Talamo can find him an opening to get through, that this horse has an absolutely explosive turn of foot. I also think that the 3 True Valor looked okay coming over. I would have liked to see him a little bit tighter, but you go 2 races back when he got beat in that allowance race. Andrea Azzini took full responsibility for that, saying that he got the horse beat and he guaranteed he would win the next time, which he did. He won the Thunder Road the very next time out. We haven't seen him since then, but Simon Callahan is really good at getting these horses to come in off of the layoffs, and I have to say in the mornings he's looked really good to me as well. So I think this is a very interesting field lining up, but my top pick is actually going to be River Boyne in here, Lafitte. I think the pace just sets up great for him to get a rebound win.
Michelle going with River Boyne, Gary. River Boyne with Ruben Fuentes aboard, and he's coming off that second place finish in the Shoemaker Mile, and maybe a little bit fresher than some of these other horses. He has not raced since that second place finish in the Shoemaker Mile.
No, and he runs great fresh, and I think his trainer, Jeff Mullins, had this in mind, that, you know, to keep him fresh, get a good race in him. He's got a month off until the Breeders' Cup. We're only 4 weeks away right now, so I can side with Michelle on her pick here.
Hey, as the back class, second in a Grade 1 Hollywood Derby, second in that Grade 1 Shoemaker Mile, and what about the work River Boyne has done here at Santa Anita? 9 starts, he's only won 6 of them.
Yeah, he loves this course, and you talk about horses for courses, he's one of them, and they're about ready to start loading.
Ohio in the Eclipse colors, Victor Espinosa takes over. Gary, final thoughts as they move into line with Synchrony emerging as the favorite, 5-2.
Well, I think we're going to see a chess match and a big cavalry charge going into that first turn. Watch it sort out and pick a horse midway down the backside that's traveling well, and we'll go from there.
Like a replay of what we just saw in the Shadwell Turf Mile, where it looked like 11 of them had a chance with 1/8 of a mile to run. See how it all unfolds. We turn things over to Frank Mirmati with the live call. It is the Grade 2 City of Hope Mile, live from Santa Anita.
Two more. Big Score and Bolo. Big Score and Bolo. They're in the gate. And they're off. Very clean beginning. True Valor breaks out alertly. Here's Kingley now hustled quickly, and Kingley takes command at once as they pass the stands for the first time. Restrained Vengeance is now coming after him in second, and Prince Earl is forwardly placed. Bolo fourth in the opening quarter mile and a bit wide into the turn, 5 lengths off the leader. They're followed by True Valor, who's now racing on the outside of Synchrony next to Andesh. Another 2, Catapult 3 wide outside River Boyne. Ohio is down at the rail, and 2 more to Big Score. At least 15 lengths covers the field. Down the backstretch they go. Kingley has the pedal to the metal, leads it by 3 lengths. Restrained Vengeance is second by the same margin. At the rail, Prince Earl is a joint third. Bolo is 3 wide. Racing about 2.5 lengths or so off the pace. It's another 2 lengths back to True Valor, racing on the inside of Andesh into the far turn. Synchrony, awaiting some racing room, has 7 to make up in the blue cap. Catapult is outside of him. Then it's Ohio. Big Score trying to rally on the outside of River Boyne, a quarter of a mile to go. And Kingley has been there every step of the way, chased by Restrained Vengeance. They're still 1-2. Prince Earl is 3 lengths back and starting to finish with some momentum. Synchrony at the rail, Catapult extreme outside, and True Valor a 16th to go. Here's Prince Earl between horses. On the far outside, here comes True Valor surging. Here's the line. Photo goes to True Valor. An upset in the City of Hope Mile in a wild scramble to the finish.
Thriller in the City of Hope Mile. Frank Mirmati calling True Valor and Drayden Van Dyke in an upset, 16-1 at post time, Gary.
Yeah, and Drayden just coming back off of an injury at Del Mar, and great ride by Drayden Van Dyke, swooping him late. Simon Callahan, what a training job after being off for all these months.
Michelle had some positive vibes regarding True Valor, as good as he looked and rapidly improving. This is just his 5th start here in North America, Gary, and in a Grade 2 event coming off the Thunder Road victory. Rapidly on the improve. Again, I don't know that he's good enough to compete on a Breeders' Cup stage, but a 5-year-old headed in the right direction.
Yeah, well, anytime you can run 132 and 4.
On this track where they will have the Breeders' Cup Mile, sure.
On this track, horses for courses. He loves it here. He's now 2 out of 3 on this racetrack. Question will be, how is he going to rebound off of this huge effort today in just 4 weeks? 4 weeks after he'd been off from February today.
Another look deep stretch, True Valor with Drayden Van Dyke. Another stakes win for him this afternoon. He also won the LA Woman earlier today. Big effort from Prince Earl. Just a blanket finish here, but in the end, True Valor able to stick out his neck and by about a head take down the City of Hope Mile, his 5th lifetime victory, 2nd win at Santa Anita. Michelle with winning trainer Simon Callahan.
Guys, I'm down here with Simon Callahan on the phone. Still hasn't had the photo up. Simon, how do you feel about the possible photo here?
My owner thinks we won, so I hope so.
We think you won. It's very close. What were your thoughts coming into this race off of the layoff?
I thought he was doing great. I mean, I thought it was just a fiercely competitive race, and whoever got a little bit of luck would win.
Still waiting here on, we're going to get a very close-up look of the photo now. I think you got it, Simon. I'm going to call it for you. Would this put you in a great spot to go to the Breeders' Cup afterwards?
Yeah, I mean, I think either way, I think that's probably what we'd, lean towards, yeah.
I remember when this horse ran in the allowance race, and Andrea Azzini had said that he's the one that kind of got him beat there, and he made up for it in the Thunder Road. What's he been doing since then, and why this race to point you off of the layoff?
I mean, he's a horse you've got to just put there really late, and I think that's what Andrea was alluding to. In the allowance race, he probably hit the front a little bit too early, and then he kind of was just put him there on the line, so that worked out well. Hopefully this has. They haven't called it, so.
Well, good luck in the photo here. We think you got it. We're still waiting for the photo sign to come up, guys.
Simon's still sweating it out, but it looks pretty clear-cut that it was True Valor able to emerge victorious. And what's this trifecta and superfecta going to pay?
Huge.
Gary?
Restrained Vengeance. We were trying to figure out who it was in the blue silks down inside. That's Restrained Vengeance, and he's got to be a huge
Has to
price.
be a big price. Prince Earl, who was the morning line favorite, but also Kingly, who was 20-1 on the morning line, in there as well. But for True Valor, Simon Callahan, and they haven't posted the results of the photo, and maybe they're trying to figure out who's second, third, and fourth, because it looks like a clear-cut victory for True Valor. Simon Callahan looking on. Good opening weekend for Callahan. Had that brilliant 2-year-old filly last week on the undercard of that Super Saturday, and now here True Valor in an apparent upset win in the Grade 2 City of Hope.
Yeah, and I think that's probably exactly why they're taking so long. They forgot to push the button of who the winner is, trying to figure out who was second and third here, unless there was a nasty bob from Restrained Vengeance, but celebration just started.
Photos down. Simon Callahan with True Valor, 3-4-9-8-5. That's 16-1, over 40-1, over Prince Earl 5-2, 21-1 Kingly, big score at 17-1.
Yeah, this superfecta is going to pay huge right now. And we talked about how wide open this race is.
There
and
you
when
have
they're
it.
this wide open, you're going to get some big prices.
Results, reaction following the City of Hope Mile and still ahead. It's the race we have been waiting for. It is the long-awaited return of Omaha Beach. Omaha Beach, who would have been favored in that Kentucky Derby, unraced since the Arkansas Derby, but he has never faced a horse this fast. Chancelot, the Amsterdam winner favorite in the Grade 1 Santa Anita Sprint Championship.
Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
It's a Motown, the son of Uncle Mo, to win the Remsen.
Motown flying, Motown will win a Thriller, Motown to win it, and Motown has won the Hollywood Derby.
Upset in the City of Hope. We welcome you back to America's Day at the Races. True Valor entering the winner's circle. Big afternoon for jockey Drayden Van Dyke. He won the LA Woman with Lady Ninja earlier, and now steering home True Valor, the Grade 2 City of Hope Mile.
Yeah, and this has got to brighten his whole day up a whole bunch in this whole next couple of weeks. He was taking off a couple of horses, Baffert's last week, both 2-year-olds that are headed for the Breeders' Cup. They were both winners. Bob telling him, and I understand, he said, look, I can't use you off the bench after this injury. Well, he got a chance today, and it looks like he's got 2 after today's victories that he's going to be back in the
riding
Breeders'
in the Cup, sure, with Lady Ninja perhaps bound for the Filly Mare Sprint, maybe True Valor to the Breeders' Cup Mile. We check in with Michelle and winning jockey Drayden Van Dyke. Michelle.
Drayden Van Dyke aboard for the win there on True Valor. Drayden, what did you think about this colt coming into the race? What did Simon tell you?
Well, he said just get him covered up. That's the main thing with him. If he sees daylight, he wants to be aggressive, and he was a little aggressive in the first turn, but he's like that. I watched his past performances, and he's just a little aggressive in that first turn. But as soon as I got it covered up, got on the backside, he dropped it, and from there on out, I was just trying to follow the fastest horse and get through.
Were you a little worried about how wide open Kingley was going down the backside?
You know, I couldn't, honestly, I wasn't even worried about who was in front of me, besides who I was going to follow when it came time to let my horse run and find the best possible seam to come through.
We all had to sit out here and sweat out the photo. Did you know that you had the win, or were you sweating it out like us?
No, I knew I got it. I think they're trying to figure out second and third and fourth, to be honest.
Clear winner here. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Drayden Van Dyke aboard True Valor there for the win of the City of Hope Mile.
Michelle, thanks so much. So we were talking about the state of affairs in the Breeders' Cup Mile, Gary, and nobody's going to mistake True Valor for Bricks and Mortar, for Circus Maximus, for Get Stormy, those types of horses, but it's the Breeders' Cup. He just won on this track. We've seen big upsets in the Breeders' Cup Mile, specifically at here. You know, Caraconte was 1,000,000 to 1 at Santa Anita a few years ago. If you're calling the shots with True Valor, do you press on to the Breeders' Cup Mile?
Absolutely. When the fire's hot, he's Breeders' Cup eligible. I would, if I'm the trainer. He's going to look at him over the next 3 or 4 days, see how he recovers out of this race. I would imagine Simon's a sharp guy, and he's so good off the layoff. He's going to know how this horse bounced out of this race, how much it affected him. And if he came out of it the right way, you know, he's got a couple weeks to make that decision whether he's going to go.
The Californians in these mile races. California for Richie Baltis, whose name is eluding me, went back to Belmont, won the Hill Prince earlier today. Bowie's Hero, Shadwell Turf Mile, $1 million victory and an upset. And now this guy, True Valor, onward and upward in the City of Hope Mile.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good sign for the California horses. They've been strong all year long, all over the nation, and they get to come, those horses that won at Keeneland today, they get to come back to their own backyard. And just like I mentioned about Simon Callahan evaluating these horses over the next 2 or 3 days, that's what all of these trainers are going to have to do, see how they came out of not only the race, but the trip back here to California.
Neptune Storm, the Hill Prince winner. Nobody whispered that in my ear, I swear. We'll be turning the page to the Grade 1 Santa Anita Sprint Championship. This is a Breeders' Cup win and you're in. And this is what we wanted to see, what the wagering would look like early, with Chancelot coming in as a 4-5 morning line favorite. Chancelot 2-5, Omaha Beach 8-5, Field of 6, sprinting 3/4 of a mile, Gary, in that long awaited return from Omaha Beach.
Yeah, I don't think there's any surprises on the prices right now. I mean, Chancelot is a lone speed in here. Lone speed on this track is normally dangerous. So Omaha Beach, though, getting a lot of action himself.
With about 17 minutes to post, Grade 1 Santa Anita Sprint Championship, Chancelot 2-5, Omaha Beach at 8-5. And for Omaha Beach, I think for the fans, just exciting to see him back in action. He had established himself as the finest 3-year-old in North America. That breathing issue, the entrapped epiglottis, but now he is back and revving up for a fall campaign. Omaha Beach, finally, his first race since the Grade 1 Arkansas Derby, coming up next in the Santa Anita Sprint Championship. But what about the division, the sprint? We know Imperial Hint is bound for the sprint. What a race in last week's Vosburg. And Matola, he's already here, training up to the Breeders' Cup Sprint. A look at the contenders when we come back.
Warfront. This son of Danzig ranks among the world's elite sires. With Grade 1 winners on dirt and turf and star performers both at home and abroad, Warfront's success as an international super sire is unmatched. Recent Grade 1 winners include Omaha Beach and Preakness Stakes hero War of Will. In the sales ring, his $2.4 million sale topper at Keeneland September was the highest price yearling sold in North America last year. Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm.
I'm a firm believer you don't put the saddle on the pedigree. I bought him strictly because of his physique, his conformation. And then when you looked at the pedigree, it was the perfect blend. Run Happy was an incredible, incredible racehorse, being supported by Airdrie Stud, who raises an incredible animal. To breed one of their best mares to him speaks volumes. It ended up producing an incredible result in this horse. And we just hope he runs to his looks and his pedigree.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NairaBets.com.
Welcome back to Santa Anita Park. America's Day at the Races is brought to you in part by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual, unusually well. Breeders' Cup 4 weeks out. Breeders' Cup Sprint contenders. It's what it looks like. You're about to see Chancelot, Omaha Beach hooking up. Nothing beyond today finalized. Beyond today for Omaha Beach in terms of his next race. Engage won a wild edition of the Phoenix yesterday at Keeneland. Gary and Matoli already here at Santa Anita training, in case you forgot. Here's how good he looked winning the Grade 1 Forgo Travers Day at Saratoga in a rebound effort.
Yeah, this was a huge effort from Matoli. He put in such an effort, he came back and got beat the next time. That's the reason he's out here in California right now. If he gets back to this form where he was fresh coming into this race, he's going to be tough to beat. I mean, to me, going into this race, I felt that he was the best sprinter in the country. Then I saw Chancelot, and my mind just kept changing. So it's an exciting time.
Andy
right now
Serling said earlier he should be in that Horse of the Year conversation, and I wouldn't argue with him. How about last Saturday's Vosburg, Gary? What a show put on by the tiny horse with a giant heart, Imperial Hint, somehow denying Firenze Fire.
Yeah, and look, he just keeps doing this. He just keeps finding ways to win. Firenze Fire gave him all he wanted. He's actually a neck in front right now. He's doomed.
Imperial Hint's beat.
Look, he tightens it up on the little rocket, and the little rocket likes it. He said, "You want some of this? Watch this." Comes back, sticks his head in front, gets up, and wins by a nose.
You'd think a horse that small. I thought intimidation would become a factor, and I thought that's why Firenze Fire was being angled in to intimidate Imperial Hint. Imperial Hint's having none of it.
Yeah, I made that mistake when in the Breeders' Cup Classic, Beholder and Songbird. I put the little filly up against the rail, and she liked it, and she started coming back, and it's rare that you get the horse that enjoys that kind of battle. The tighter you put them in, the more they like the fight and the more effort they put into it.
You know, it's still early, but this Breeders' Cup Sprint is shaping up as one of the most exciting races of any Breeders' Cup event. It is superstar after superstar after superstar.
You can flip a coin right now. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what Omaha Beach can do. Can he contend with Chancelot? Can, if he's within 4 or 5 lengths, as Mike said, coming into the stretch, can he run him down? This is a short field, but a great field.
A chance for Chancelot to make a statement. And just because the Breeders' Cup is here at California, don't think that Chancelot moving forward or any horse coming out from the east is up against it, at least in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Take a look at this. So the Sprint has been contested here at Santa Anita on 9 different occasions. 4 have been won by shippers from the East. Smile, Cajun Beat, Triniburg, Work All Week, all shipped in from the East, all ignored by the wagering public, all won at big prices, Gary. I think this West Coast home field advantage thing, at least in this division, has been far overblown.
Absolutely. These are Grade 1 horses, and they earn the right to be here for the Breeders' Cup. So to throw anybody out and think that they can't travel, we've seen it happen everywhere. It doesn't matter where the Breeders' Cup is held. It's to get the best horses together and see who is the best on the day, and they're trained specifically up to this moment in time.
But Chancelot is here, going to get a race over the track in this Grade 1 Santa Anita Sprint Championship, a live look at a long shot, big score. So are you of the opinion that this is a 2-horse race? Correction, number 6 there on the outside horse, Greedy at 36 to 1. Down to Michelle live with Chancelot's trainer, Jorge Navarro.
Guys, I'm walking with Jorge Navarro right now. Chancelot coming in here. Georgie, when did you decide to bring this horse out to Southern California for the last prep?
You know what, we were thinking of going on the British Cup. I thought this was the right move to make. Lightly race cold, all right. I could have went to Belmont, and you know, I go easy on me, all right. But you know what, it's about him, and that's why we brought him here, all right. Hopefully we come out with a win, and you know what, we're putting him to the British Cup.
What were your thoughts about his run in the 8 Challenge Jerkins?
You know what, everything went against him. That track, bad decision. You know what, listen, things happen. We turn on the page. He's back on him, all right? And you know who's he's riding.
That was a question mark, right? Was there a consideration to maybe replace riders?
Yes. But you know what, that long run things didn't win the way we thought. And you know what, why not? Everybody deserves a second chance. That's why I'm here.
We expect to see him on the front, Georgie. Is that the absolute plan?
No doubt. Hopefully we get a clean break, and he gets to do what he knows what to do.
Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
So the story was that Ismael Jaramillo would not ride Chancelot in the Santa Anita Sprint Championship, but there was going to be a switch to Mike Smith, but then Omaha Beach wound up in the Santa Anita Sprint Championship, committed to Omaha Beach, and another chance for Ismael Jaramillo to make amends this afternoon.
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes stories do have happy endings with jockeys, and I'm happy that he's back aboard today. Mike Smith was supposed to ride. He made the phone call to Jorge and told him that, look, Omaha Beach has been rerouted. There's nothing I can do about it. He understood. And then Jorge said, look, if we're going to go down, we're going to go down with the guy that got us to where we're at.
He's a good rider. And
very
things
good
did
rider.
not work out in the Allen Jerkins. I guess, Gary, my bigger issue, we're not trying to pick on Jaramillo, all right? My bigger issue was when the Amsterdam, and he had opened up by double digits. At some point, you just have to gear it down, shut it down, and let the horse cruise to the wire. He was getting after Chancelot pretty good, even though he had already easily put away his Amsterdam competition.
Yeah, you know, Richie Migliore and myself, we had a conversation about that. And we're a little bit old school, and we were taught a long time ago, look, don't win by any more than you have to win by. Save something, save some juice in the lemon. And I wouldn't blame it completely on him that he was on the inside that day when Jorge had told him to stay off of the inside fence.
And probably could have been more aggressive as well. Use your speed.
Yes, he could have been. But was there speed in the tank that day after that grueling Amsterdam track record-setting trip? Now he's shipped all the way from New York. He's had 2 hard races. One of them didn't have to be hard, but his last race was a very hard race. Now he's shipped all that way. So I think he's vulnerable today.
I'm glad he gets another shot.
I'm glad he does
still
too.
has this call on Chancelot, Ismael Jaramillo. We'll see him in the post parade for this Grade 1 Santa Anita Sprint Championship. Number 1, One Flew South, long shot here, like Omaha Beach, unraced since the Arkansas Derby, where he ran 11th and last.
Yeah, his trainer Doug O'Neill is not afraid to take chances in big spots. He is taking blinkers off of him after getting beat 45 lengths in there. Long break, long price. He's up against it today, Lafitte.
Number 2, Omaha Beach. Just great to see him back on the track for his owner, Rick Porter's Fox Hill Farms.
Yeah, look, he was on the lead at the 3/8 pull, or the half-mile pull in the Arkansas Derby. He's back to sprinting today, and he won, broke his maiden, going 7/8 of a mile.
Look at that, favorite side by side. Ismael Jaramillo looks like he's saying something to Mike Smith. Chancelot, lightning fast and hard to catch.
Yeah, hard to catch, and he is the lone speed in here. Extremely quick, leaving the starting gate.
I want to know what he was saying to him. Number 4, there's Flagstaff, the reigning champion, a 2-year-old champion, game winner's brother.
Yeah, John Sadler, Victor Espinoza teaming up, and they've been a dangerous duo all summer long.
Number 5, California Street, Drayden Van Dyke looking for a graded stakes sweep.
He's the hot jockey today, and Patty Gallagher is the trainer today. He doesn't have any speed. He's going to come running late.
And Horse Greedy, pictured 5th at 21-1 in last year's Santa Anita Sprint Championship.
Yeah, another deep closer. 5 furlongs is his specialty, stretching out to 6 today.
And that's the field for this Grade 1 Santa Anita Sprint Championship Breeders' Cup Challenge event. Win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Sprint. There's Chance-a-Lot. Let's go back to that Alan Jerkins. He was 30 cents on the dollar on that afternoon. He did make the lead, but throttled down to a certain extent by Ismael Jaramillo and then wound up on the worst part of the racetrack, Gary.
Yeah, and because of the throttling down, that's how he did wind up on the worst part. But he's clear here. That's not where you wanted to be on the day. Everybody was out in like the 4 or 5 path were the best place to be, circling wide. You're going to see these horses on the outside come flying. They lost a lot of ground on the turn, coming out of the turn, and it winds up a blanket finish. He gets beat a short head for the whole win.
Picked off late. Trainer Jorge Navarro knows how to campaign a good sprinter. XY Jet, Private Zone, and this guy, Chance-a-Lot, who's been here in Southern California training for the Santa Anita Sprint Championship and all set for the Breeders' Cup Sprint, assuming all goes well today.
Yeah, and this workout here at Santa Anita, just a little leg stretcher, just a basically open gallop that he went in 50 seconds flat until the gallop out. He lets him gallop out nicely. It looks great going over the Santa Anita surface.
We've always heard about California speed and the lightning fast California tracks, and let me ask you about that in a question. Horses being here, training for the Breeders' Cup, if there's something to that, do you think that's important? Will horses have an edge dealing? We have a deeper track here at Santa Anita right now than we have in years past. Do you think that's important, horses training here leading up to the main event being the Breeders' Cup Sprint in a month?
I have a theory, Lafitte. I think one of the reasons our horses did so well shipping around to the East Coast this year, which are notoriously deeper racetracks, is because they've been training on the Santa Anita surface. Del Mar was deeper than usual also. So I actually think that the New York horses or East Coast invaders are on equal playing field with us versus the past when we had the fast glib tracks that they weren't necessarily used to. This is playing more like an East Coast track than a typical West Coast track.
And Omaha Beach. This is the last time we saw him in action. It was this race, and what an absolute pitch battle with the reigning 2-year-old champion. Game winner. This was at Oaklawn Park in April. Following this race, we knew who the favorite was going into the Kentucky Derby. Omaha Beach showing grit, class, and determination. This was a race against Improbable. He beat game winner in the Rebel. But Omaha Beach, based off of this race, wound up the early favorite for the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, and it was a sloppy racetrack. He had won the previous race at Oaklawn Park, the Rebel, right before that. But the improvement he showed here and the grit and determination, looked like there was no stop, looked like there was no problem getting a 1.25 miles, no problem with the sloppy racetrack. All systems were pointing to go. I know that sounds weird that I said 1.25 miles and now going 6 furlongs today. That's his versatility.
Omaha Beach, 2-1 odds-on favorite. Chance-a-Lot, 2-5 with 2 minutes to post. We check in with Michelle.
Thanks, Lafitte. Of course, this is a Breeders' Cup win and you're in race, so you get your berth as well as your entry fees paid should you win this race. And I'm happy to be joined by the Nebuchadnezzar that the Winning Connections get, as well as the blanket the proud purple horses will be happy to wear here. I was standing here with Jorge Navarro watching Chance-a-Lot warm up, and he said he was just thrilled with the way he actually saddled and walked around the walking ring. He had stayed with him the entire time because he tends to get a little washed out, he said, but he thought he was perfect. He said he should be really good on the warm-up too out on the track until he sees the starting gate. He said that's when he really starts to get amped up about his upcoming job. I thought he looked good all the way up until there, and then I've kind of lost sight of him since he went behind the big board. But Omaha Beach also warming up just beautifully. Mike Smith had him going alongside the pony, but he had him in this long, floaty jog. I just thought he looked really great. It was a tremendous warm-up to me, especially for a horse who we're not sure if 6 furlongs is going to be up his alley as far as distance goes. I thought he warmed up super sharp. And I also caught up with John Sadler, who has a couple couple of horses in here, but most notably the 4 Flagstaff, because this will be his first start in the stakes company. And I asked John when they thought about this spot for him, and he said, honestly, it was right after that race at Del Mar. He said his Ragozin numbers came back really good, and he said because of that, he thought he could be competitive with these, and they've been pointing for this spot since summer.
Yeah, Michelle, if somebody wants to argue this is a 2-horse race, Omaha Beach, Chancelot, that's fine. Do not sleep on Flagstaff, as good as he is getting for John Sadler.
Yeah, and he's by a sire that gets runners in Speightstown, but this horse has improved, and John Sadler's whole stable has improved over the past 10 years. He's dancing in all the big dances. We see big improvement with his young horses, and a lot like Richard Mandela's horses, Shug McGahee's, in that same league. I'm comparing him right with those guys. They keep improving with each and every race. And if he thinks this horse belongs with the likes of Chancelot, Omaha Beach, he's got the record to go with it.
Co-owned by Costa Aronis is Flagstaff. Costa Aronis and John Sadler winning that Breeders' Cup Classic last fall with Accelerate. Here, we check the odds with Chancelot 1-2, Omaha Beach by Claiborne stallion Warfront, turning out to be a much more versatile stallion than perhaps originally thought. And part of the reason Omaha Beach wound up in Richard Mandela's stable is because by Warfront, the assumption was, well, he'll probably be a grass horse.
Yeah, and his first 3 races were on the turf, and they were second, and a third. Well, let's try him on the dirt, and it wound up being what he loves to run on.
Very versatile stallion, Claiborne stallion, Warfront, sire of Omaha Beach. Gary, final thoughts as Omaha Beach steps forward for the first time in about 5.5 months.
You know, I've said that I like Omaha Beach today. I think he's got that versatility. I liked what Mike had to say, but it's Chancelot that they have to beat.
They have to catch. Post time for the Grade 1 Santa Anita Sprint Championship. Winning you're in for the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Here's Frank Miramati.
And they're off. Chancelot breaks smoothly, goes right to the front. 1 Flew South comes away in good order. Flagstaff has some early speed. Omaha Beach 3 off the leader. Then it's Horse Greedy and a gap of 3 to California Straight. Chancelot controls the pace, leads it by 2.5 lengths coming to the half-mile pole. Flagstaff is in second. Omaha Beach is down at the rail. They're followed by Horse Greedy, racing in 4th, about 5 lengths off Chancelot. 1 Flew South losing ground steadily, passed by California Street. Chancelot shows the way past the 3/8, still in hand by a length. He's got company with Flagstaff on the outside, and down at the rail, Omaha Beach is very close. Omaha Beach firing a big shot in his comeback as the field turns for home. Chancelot, Omaha Beach is coming with good-looking strides down at the rail, and Flagstaff on the outside. Chancelot fully extended, trying to fend off the classy Omaha Beach. Chancelot digging in. Omaha Beach at the rail is coming to him. Chancelot, Omaha Beach, Omaha Beach, Omaha Beach. What a training job by Richard Mandela as he wins the Santa Anita Sprint Championship. Chancelot loses a heartbreaker, and Flagstaff was 3rd.
The class, the heart and determination for Omaha Beach. What a story. Unraced since the Arkansas Derby, Omaha Beach facing the fastest 3-year-old in North America, runs down Chancelot at Chancelot's game in Omaha Beach. Now a Grade 1 winner at a sprint distance, winning this Santa Anita Sprint Championship.
Hey, what a job, Frank Miramati said, by Hall of Fame trainer Richard Mandela. What a race he ran coming off that layoff, and the ride that Mike Smith gave him. Mike read it like a Ouija board. He said, if I can be within 4 lengths, I think I've got a great chance. And I said at the quarter pole, I said, well, Mikey, you're within 2 lengths. Let's see what happens. And gutted it out. Chancelot ran his race. And, man, Richard Mandela, he's got some options right now of where he wants to go. He had mentioned 3 races going into this race: the sprint, the mile, the dirt mile. So 3 different races he's going to choose from. Let's see how it comes out of this race.
How surprised are you that with all that rust, Omaha Beach just ran down Chancelot? Again, we can't. He is such a fast 3-year-old, and what he accomplished this summer at Saratoga, in that Amsterdam, the best 3-year-old sprinter in North America. How surprised are you that Omaha Beach just ran him down?
I thought that he had a chance to. He was my pick. I didn't know if he could run down Chancelot.
Blown away. Michelle with winning trainer, the Hall of Famer, Richard Mandella.
Richard, what a tremendous performance from Omaha Beach here. What were your thoughts coming down the lane?
It looked like the leader wasn't giving up. But I saw Omaha had his head down and had his game face on, and I can't say enough about this horse. He is fabulous.
Now, going into Breeders' Cup, what are your thoughts as far as what race to run him in?
And we'll see.
Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Richard Mandella, a man of many horses and few words, thrilled with Omaha Beach here, though.
You had to ask, Michelle, but you knew that's what you were going to get. He's going to enjoy this one. We'll see. Omaha Beach, what an incredible, incredible training job by that man right there. One of the best who has ever lived, the Hall of Famer, Richard Mandella. In case you're wondering, 9-time Breeders' Cup champion trainer Richard Mandella, each one of those Breeders' Cup victories right here at Santa Anita.
Right here at Santa Anita in his own backyard. And Richard Mandella, such a conservative trainer until it comes to game time. And then he steps out of the box. And when he said, we'll see, don't be surprised with the wide open picture for Horse of the Year. And I hate to say that, and the Classic, how wide open it is right now. If he decides to go, this 6-furlong race today was like 4 workouts.
I think it's just, for Omaha Beach to beat Chancelot, with all that time off, Chancelot with the recency, that clear, easy, early lead, and still, slowly but surely, Omaha Beach able to wear him down. So we were talking about the fact that the Breeders' Cup Sprint shaping up as one of the most exciting Breeders' Cup events with Matoli, with Imperial Hint, who you can fit in your pocket, with Chancelot, perhaps adding Omaha Beach to that mix. Wow.
That's what I say. Wow, we saw a great day of racing today here at Santa Anita. Looking forward to the Breeders' Cup.
I'm blown away. Just blown away. For Rick Porter, his Fox Hill Farm, the victory, Omaha Beach. No rust, just class, and that all-world smile from the Hall of Fame trainer Richard Mandella with Omaha Beach in the Santa Anita Sprint Championship.